anyone listening to that piece of music will recognise it, apart from you, Porky, obviously.
Yeah, well, I assume it's Game of Thrones. We're talking about Game of Thrones,
Yeah,
but
we
you
are.
know, it's the same old mushy, melodramatic. Oh, always a monster in the forest and all that kind of stuff.
Monster in the Forest, is that what you've got? Now, fortunately, we've got an expert here, Mr. Jamie East.
Hey, how you
joined us.
doing?
A very good afternoon to you, Jamie. Thank you, hot from your show, finishing on Virgin Radio downstairs, because we're all very, very much a multimedia
Well, one big
organisation.
happy family, aren't we?
One big
Of
happy
course we
family,
are,
yeah. Well,
yes.
you're closer to the canteen than we are, which is good
I
in
got
some
in
ways.
very early today, yeah.
Now, you do a show on Sky Atlantic following Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And last night was the sort of world simulcast, if you like,
That's right, yeah.
across the globe of this new series, where the big question was whether Jon Snow was alive or dead. And,
Yep.
of course, for Porky, who does a TV review on our show called Porky Vision.
Indeed, yeah.
He sometimes actually does...
Award-winning.
Award-winning in his own mind. Sometimes he actually reviews shows like, Till Death Us Do Part, and stuff that hasn't been on for years.
Yeah.
So he's not really up with the modern zeitgeist, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And for him, Jon Snow is a newsreader on Channel 4. So
Yes.
you kind of walk him through the complications of the storyline and why he should watch it and why he should love it.
So, are you interested in history at all?
Yes, very interested in history.
So history's all he's got. He's got no future.
It's all he's got.
Future.
Yeah.
So Game of Thrones is very loosely based on the War of the Roses. So it's predominantly a story, a tale of a number of families all fighting for power over the kingdom.
Yeah.
That is it in his very broadest sense.
Sure.
It takes place in a kind of parallel medieval universe.
Yeah.
A place called Westeros.
He's already looking troubled.
So
Well, I mean,
but-
parallel worlds to me
This is-
are the worst
Yeah.
possible conception.
But you live in a parallel world.
No, I don't live in a parallel
do?
world. No, I don't. I mean, you say that it's based on this great story of the War of the Roses,
Yeah.
the Plantagenets and all that kind of stuff, yellow rose, red rose, but a bit like...
Yellow rose?
White rose, red rose.
Where were the yellow roses?
Well, that was Texas, so just shut up for a minute. But a bit like the old Mad Max films and all that,
Yeah.
they combine what's happened in the past with what is going to happen in the future and try
Correct.
and bring it all together.
Yeah.
And then, to twist it all into a complete load of mush and mess, they invent, like, mythical, horrible animals that come flying around, gobbling up people.
Are you
and all this
referring to
kind
the
of stuff.
White? Are you referring to the White Walkers, Paul?
Well, I mean, for instance, somebody...
What did you see, then? Which animal did you see?
Well, it's like a big bird that flies around
bird.
breathing fire. It's
That's
like
a
a flying
dragon.
dragon.
That's a
flying
dragon, yeah.
I mean, do you know that they made? Do you know that they made a Robin Hood version of Game of Thrones where they've got monsters in that flying around Sherwood Forest?
Okay.
That's
Are you sure?
That's the bad influence.
Well,
this
that
thing
wasn't
has
the Mel
had.
Gibson one.
And by
was
the
it?
way, what
Mel
you say?
Gibson's one didn't have any dragons in it.
No, that was Mad Max. That
What?
was different. Mad Max was.
There were no dragons in that either.
There were no dragons in that, but don't confuse me. Another reason why I don't like it is because the minute I saw Jon Snow
Yeah.
and saw all the
Was
tweets
he wearing
with
red
that-
socks?
Well, funny you should say that. I honestly thought it was Jon
know
Snow,
you
the
did.
newsreader, and
Yeah.
I thought, well, if he likes
You
it...
started writing an obit.
No, if he likes it, I don't like it, because I don't like Jon Snow, because
Okay.
Jon Snow doesn't like me, because we fell out in America on the campaign trail some years ago.
Snubbed him
Snubbed me completely.
because you were with the gutter press.
Told me I didn't have enough intelligence. Well, didn't tell me, but kind of insinuated I wasn't bright enough to have dinner with him.
I think,
Do you mind not
we're
over-
actually getting into the crux of the problem here. This
Yeah.
is just a long-held bitterness over
Long-held
a
bitterness.
character's
Well,
name, isn't it?
You've only been in the studio 5 minutes, Jamie. You've completely got Porky in one.
I
I mean,
feel
this
as-
is his whole life is based on bitterness about other people that have somehow
bitterness and regret.
slighted him in the past.
So Game of Thrones, though, is fantastic. If you can get over or see through the fact that there are mythical creatures in it.
What's the plot? What is the eventual
Well, he's
aim?
told you the plot.
So what's the aim?
The aim is over. We're now. The last night was the premiere of the 6th series, and I think there's going to be 8 series. So by the time I imagine that the final episode of the 8th series will be one of these families or one of these kind of the houses they're called will end up on the Iron Throne. That is the accumulation.
Who's on it at the moment?
The Lannisters are on it at the moment. Tom and Lannister.
Who are they?
Tom and Baratheon. They are. I guess they would be in real world. They'd probably be ruled. They're probably in Monaco. They're the equivalent of Prince Albert.
Okay.
Kind of.
Says Caroline.
So they want democracy, do they?
No, they don't want democracy.
What makes
they
you
want
think Prince
communism.
Albert wants
that's
democracy?
No.
What's
I mean,
that got to do with Prince Albert?
no, the two families fighting for the throne.
There is no democracy anywhere in Westeros.
Oh, it's all like
It's all kind of.
who can kill more of the
Correct,
others. Is that what it's?
correct.
Oh, I quite like that.
My
I think
arm
that's
is
quite
bigger than yours.
I think that's
Yeah.
quite a good standard to measure life
Yeah.
by.
How much of Game of Thrones have you actually seen?
Well, about 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, last night.
No, I didn't watch it last night.
Oh, okay.
No. The last one I tried to watch, it was about 5 or 6 or 7 minutes. There was a very beautiful-looking girl, in a sort of medieval-type robe,
Yeah.
okay?
Did that robe fall off by any chance?
It didn't, actually. Well,
Okay,
I was
that's a
watching it.
rarity.
No,
I'm
I should have
afraid.
watched it for longer.
Well, should have done. And she looked like Queen Guinevere on the edge of a lake.
Queen who?
Guinevere.
Guinevere.
No, you're talking about Daenerys Targaryen.
Who?
Daenerys Targaryen, Khaleesi, mother of dragons.
Is that right? Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
probably.
Or the big flying bird.
and then-
It's a bit like one of those guys in Papua New
Yeah.
Guinea when somebody comes up with a camera, a big flying
Yeah.
bird.
Yeah. And
Throwing
then,
spears
Someone's
at them.
stolen my soul.
And then a dragon flies in. But sorry, what you've just said to me is, so there is some nakedness, is there, in this?
There's nothing but. It's either violence or nakedness or dragons. That's
and-
the three kind of things.
Which is, you have to say why it's so very popular.
Yeah, and to use an expression which is familiar to this show, maybe not in this particular time slot, but another one, is the Rogerisation.
there,
Physical activity, I think, is what
there
you're
is
looking for.
Rogerisation in every angle and every orifice. Yeah,
Oh, blimey.
it's pretty
Right.
full on Game of
He
Thrones.
likes it better now.
Well, no, I don't. No, 'cause
Now
I'm
he's
not,
interested.
I'm not sure we should be
I'm not
subjected
sure
to
you
too
can,
much
one
of
third
that.
of your heart can handle it.
No, I regard that as a bit smutty, to be honest. If that's all it is, dressed
it's-
up as a medieval war between two.
So how many episodes
royal
are
families.
there? This is now the 8th series.
This is so we're in the 6th series now. So there have been up to this point there have been 51 hours of it.
51 hours. So you'd have to lock yourself away for an entire weekend and just
Do you-
watch them non-stop. I think that's a great idea for you to do one weekend.
I think
Keep
you'd
you
have
out
to
of the pub.
I think you'd have to see it from the start. But anyway, just about the history of this, James,
Yeah.
I'm very interested. Do you know who came up with the concept and how successful has it been for the people who make it and the channel that carries it?
Well, funny you should ask that. The author. These are all based on books called A Song of Ice and Fire by a guy called George R.R. Martin. And I don't know if you can get a picture of George R.R. Martin, but he looks remarkably similar to you.
Oh, really?
He does.
Well, I'm supposed to look like a hobbit anyway.
Poor guy.
And that's Middle Earth, isn't it? That's parallel world.
Yeah, so but the interesting thing is he's still writing these books. And they're big, thick old books, and they take a long, long time to write. He was supposed to have delivered the new book before this series started.
Right.
He didn't deliver it in time, so the series has had to carry on regardless.
Well, who's written the scripts then?
So there are two guys called David Benioff and another fellow whose name's forgotten who create the series for HBO, and so they've done it with his blessing and in collaboration with him, where he has given them slight end points of.
I've just been shown a picture of George R. Martin.
I'm
He does
bang
look
on, aren't I?
remarkably like you.
It does.
We'll have to tweet that one out. Looks just like you. Could be your long-lost brother.
Hang on, that's a fat, ugly, four-eyed, bearded loser,
Exactly.
in my view. But he wrote
Bingo.
Game of Thrones.
That's
Snap.
hashtag awkward.
Thanks, mate. Yeah.
So he has given them the plot points, the major plot points. Said here's where you need to get to by episode 10.
Right.
How they get there is up to them.
I suppose when you've written that many successful books and you're being paid ludicrous amounts of money, there's not much incentive for you to keep writing.
He has earned hundreds of millions of dollars. from
Okay,
this.
well, let me
It's
just...
all shot in Northern Ireland as well.
Let me just put this to you very quickly.
It's very good for the Northern Irish economy.
Christopher Stevens, the TV reviewer of the Daily Mail, which is the biggest selling tabloid paper in this country, he gives Game of Thrones
You
one
sure?
star out. Yeah, we're absolutely sure of quality
Sun
scale,
sells
of
more
quality
than that,
scale, quality scale. And if you look at the 7 days as well, he says maybe on holiday for a few months, but and he just says it's garbage. He gives it one out of 5. All the hype, however, makes Game of Thrones impossible to ignore.
Well, as anyone in their rightful mind in Britain knows, you always do the opposite of the Daily Mail.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
When
the
they ask-
Times gave it 4 stars out of 5.
There you go.
Remarkably. Yeah.
So why have you quoted from the one guy who doesn't get it? Because you're the other guy in the whole country that doesn't get it.
Well, this guy, Christopher Stevens, does have a reputation, whether you like the title he works for or not. He's a hugely experienced man. He's seen every programme that's ever been made for about the last 25 years.
Yeah.
He says it's drivel, like I do.
That's fine, but numbers speak for themselves. It's the biggest television show in the world.
I accept that.
It's going to have to figure on Porky Vision. Jamie, you're back tomorrow at 10 o'clock, I presume, on Virgin?
Every day.
Every day. What, 7 days a week?
Oh, well, God, no. Let's not be ridiculous about this. Crikey, me.
Jamie East, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for
My
coming
pleasure.
in. Delightful to see you.
Valar Morghulis.
Maybe we'll have to come and do your show sometime soon.
Please do.
Jamie East, Virgin Radio, our sister station. He'll be on tomorrow from 10 o'clock. Coming up, we're going to be talking about a whole lot of other stuff. And maybe we'll give you the result of winners and losers as well. Do you want to hear that? Hurry up.
There's a discussion to be had.
Thank you. This is TalkSport.